Do you have a person you've emulated, learned from, or patterned yourself after? Have you taken the time to advise, counsel, or train another person? Welcome to Be a Better Person. Today's topic or focus will be mentor-mentee. So this is somebody who you try to be like, somebody who you want to emulate. Not that you don't want to be your own person, but somebody who you look up to and you say, hey, this part's the mentor, I like the way they do things. I like the kind of person they are. They seem to have a life that I would like. Again, it doesn't mean you want to be them. It doesn't mean that you're trying to be exactly like them. You always want to be yourself, but it's somebody who you like what they've done and you want to kind of pattern yourself after. And the mentee portion is somebody who you see maybe who has potential, maybe someone who you think, oh, wow, I bet you I could help them make some good things happen in their life. Again, both things are to try and be helpful to one and to get help from another so that you can improve yourself. And again, the mentor-mentee thing doesn't have to be, it can be anyone. It doesn't have to be a male if you're a male. It doesn't have to be a female if you're a female. It doesn't have to be whatever your pronouns are, that same person. It just has to be somebody who, like I said, you want to kind of emulate a lot of things that you like about them. They don't have to be older than you. They don't have to be younger than you. And again, these are just things that I've read because unfortunately, I have never had a lifelong one. So again, if you watch some of the things, I moved a lot when I was a kid up until the time I was 17. And I actually moved quite a bit and was located in several different places even after that. So again, there's not anybody who I've had right there the whole time to maybe necessarily be a mentor. So the biggest people is when I moved after the service stuff and moved to where I went to high school and finished my high school career and kind of lived for a decent amount of time, were my friends. They were the ones who I learned stuff from. I learned how to hunt. I learned how to fix things. I learned kind of, what I thought it was like to be a man. And like I said, I took stuff from some of them and I took other things from others. And so, yeah, big shout out to Sam, Pugs, Jeff, Matt, Rod, Rich. No particular order, you guys, but they all really helped me kind of be the person who I am. I learned a lot from all of those people. And then the biggest professional one that I think I ever had, and I had little ones too. I remember when we lived in Florida, I don't even remember the guy's name. I don't even remember how I knew him, but he brought me to be help him coach the basketball team that he was coaching. And I was only a couple years older than the kids who were actually playing, and most of the kids playing had more experience than me because I didn't know anything about basketball. So there's other little things along my path that I had people, but Jerry, who was the general manager when I worked for the paper, he was another big person who I looked up to, admired, wanted to emulate, and just the kind of person that he was. He seemed like, he's so even keeled, and I really respected them because I had a terrible temper. And so then some of the things that I tried to go the other way with in order to, which I did a terrible when I look back, I could have mentored way better, was I started coaching basketball, 5th and 6th grade, girls, boys, and then 7th and 8th for about a 10-year period. But most of those times I didn't try to develop relationships or really get to know the kids. It was more about just making them better basketball players. And I kind of regret that now. And I wonder some of the girls in 7th and 8th grade, what they think about me or they were just like, man, he just came, did stuff, and he never had a relationship or anything. But again, I think maybe because too, I was a man and I coached girls mainly because of my daughters. I had daughters that could understand and relate, but then you always are concerned and worried about what people will think about if you, the relationships you have with young girls. So I guess that's maybe another reason why I just kind of didn't try to get too close. Just wanted to make them better basketball players. So then I also did some other things on Armory Youth Project where I tutored a little bit, and I volunteered for a couple different events there, my time, because again, like I said, I always tried to give back. I also, Staircase Youth Project, we had a couple kids who, didn't have anyone or had issues with their family who came and lived with us for short periods of time. My wife and I, after our kids had left, We had exchange students, which again, I don't keep in great touch with any of those kids either, which is kind of a shame. And I think we had 7 total. And again, it just maybe says some bad things about how I was terrible with relationships when I was younger. And then I was trying to just get into this court program for kids who had problems or issues in the juvenile program, and then COVID happened. So I went to some training for that, and unfortunately I didn't get a chance to do that because I was really looking forward to that. I kind of look back at my stuff, and even though I didn't get in a lot of trouble, I still, kind of felt with a single parent household and how poor we were, that I could relate to a lot of people. And I think that was one maybe where I might have developed some stuff. Not really sure. Now that I live in a place also that I might be, I'm starting to get back into some things, and hopefully I can find someone to at least I can mentor them. I have a couple kids at work who are younger, awesome people, motivated, and they seem to have good heads on their shoulders, and hopefully they're picking some stuff up with me. But I guess there's no rule book. Maybe there is. Maybe there's some books you can tell me about to read about how to be a good mentor, or how to find a mentor, because those are both things that I would really kind of like to do. And so again, also let me know how, if you have had a lifelong mentor, kind of let me know, how did you find them? How did the relationship go? What kind of things do you turn to them for? And then same thing, if you've had somebody that you've mentored, how did you find them? How do you keep mentoring them? Do you wait for them just to come to you, or do you go to them with things that when you see things going on in their life? Like I said, those are both things that I would really, really be interested in learning about a little bit more. Again, if there's some books on those things, I would love to have you put those down there so I could read about those. But the biggest thing too that I want to say when we're doing this is don't try to, with a mentor, be that person. Again, remember, it's just some parts of their things that they want to. Always be yourself. Always make sure you love yourself. Always make sure you discover, kind of who you are. And always stick with that. Don't try to change just to make other people happy, whether it's your mentor or the people that you're looking at. Again, write your own definitions of happiness and success. But it doesn't mean that you can't get things from other people. If you see someone with the right attitude too, don't try to change them. If you have a mentee, don't try to make them be you. Let them be themselves. Find out what makes them tick, and then just try to kind of be helpful in helping them along their path and discover what they can do. And I think I said this earlier on, but I'm just going to re-emphasize the point that, does a mentor have to be somebody older than you? Can you learn a lot and emulate someone who is younger than you? I think so. Or is a different sex than you. If you're a man like myself, could I learn stuff and want to emulate a woman just based on what they're doing? And same thing with when you're being the mentor for someone. Could they be older than you? Could they be a different sex, age, or whatever? And so, yeah, like I said, would still love to find someone to be my mentor, because again, I don't really know what it's all about. And then I would like to learn more about being a mentor so that I can maybe take somebody under my wing and try to do the best I can to bring out the best in them and let them be themselves. So just remember, your smile makes me smile. Be kind, be grateful, be helpful. Until next time, have a great day.